Hello everyone, I am Alyan Fiverrwala and I am back again today with Chatgpt interview. So hello Chatgpt, how are you?
Hi, Matheen Pai. I'm good, thank you. How have you been? I'd love to help. Which country are you interested in learning about? Egypt has a rich and fascinating history that spans thousands of years. It's known for its ancient civilization, which began around 3100 BCE with the unification of Upper and Lower Egypt under the first pharaoh. The period of the pharaohs saw the construction of the iconic pyramids, such as those at Giza, and the development of hieroglyphic writing. Egypt's history includes famous figures like Cleopatra and events such as the building of the Sphinx. Later, Egypt was part of the Greek and Roman empires, and then the Islamic caliphates. Each era contributed to its rich cultural heritage. If you're interested in a specific period or aspect, let me know. Sure. Let's start with Egypt. It's known for its ancient civilization, with iconic landmarks like the pyramids and the Sphinx. The history of Egypt dates back thousands of years, with pharaohs, dynasties, and a rich culture. Would you like to know more about a specific period or aspect? The pharaohs ruled ancient Egypt for around 3,000 years, starting around 3100 BC. They were considered both political and religious leaders, often seen as gods on earth. Famous pharaohs include Tutankhamun, whose tomb was discovered intact, and Ramesses II, known for his military leadership and building projects. The pharaohs left behind incredible monuments like the pyramids and temples, which are still admired today. Anything else you'd like to know? Of course. The pyramids, especially the Great Pyramid of Giza, were built as tombs for pharaohs and are among the most iconic symbols of ancient Egypt. They were constructed with incredible precision and remain a testament to the engineering skills of the time. Each pyramid was part of a larger complex that included temples, causeways, and smaller tombs. These structures not only served as burial sites, but also reflected the pharaoh's power and the importance of the afterlife in Egyptian culture. Ancient Egypt was also known for its hieroglyphic writing system, which used symbols and pictures. Hieroglyphs were carved on temple walls and written on papyrus. The ancient Egyptians made significant advances in various fields such as mathematics, medicine, and astronomy. They believed in a complex pantheon of gods and goddesses, each with their own roles and stories. Their religion played a central role in their daily lives and influenced everything from art to governance. Would you like to hear about any specific topic in more detail? Ancient Egyptian religion revolved around a vast array of gods and goddesses. Each deity had specific attributes and responsibilities. For instance, Ra was the sun god, and Osiris was the god of the afterlife. Temples were built as places of worship and were central to community life. Rituals and offerings were common practices to honor the gods. The afterlife was a significant aspect, with elaborate burials and beliefs in a journey to the afterworld. This is where location and tomb construction came into play, ensuring the deceased's safe passage. Is there any particular god or aspect of their religion you're curious about? One of the most well-known gods is Anubis, the god of mummification and the afterlife. He was depicted as a man with a jackal's head. Anubis played a crucial role in the mummification process and was believed to guide souls to the afterlife. Another significant deity is a goddess of magic and motherhood who was revered as a protector. She was the wife of Osiris and the mother of Horus, another major god. These gods were central figures in Egyptian and were worshipped extensively. Anything else you'd like to dive into? Another fascinating figure is Osiris, the god of the afterlife and resurrection. He symbolized rebirth and was often depicted as a mummified king. His story is central to Egyptian mythology, involving his murder by his brother Set and his resurrection by Isis. This myth highlights themes of life, death, and renewal. The Egyptian pantheon also includes gods like Thoth, the god of writing and wisdom, and Bastet, the cat goddess associated with home and fertility. Each of these deities played an important role in the daily lives and spiritual beliefs of the ancient Egyptians. Anything specific you'd like to explore further? Ancient Egypt's rich mythology also includes the story of Horus, the falcon-headed god of the sky and kingship. Horus was the son of Isis and Osiris, and he played a key role in avenging his father's death and establishing order. Another interesting deity is Ma'at, the goddess of truth, justice, and cosmic order. Ma'at was essential in maintaining balance in the universe, and her principles guided the pharaohs in their rule. The Egyptians believed that living according to Ma'at's principles ensured harmony and order. Is there any particular aspect of these stories you'd like to delve into? The mythology of ancient Egypt is deeply intertwined with their understanding of the world. For example, the story of the creation often centers around the god Atum, who emerged from the chaos and created the world. Another important figure is the goddess Hathor, associated with music, dance, and fertility. She was often depicted as a cow or a woman with cow's horns. The Egyptians also revered the Nile River, which was vital for their agriculture and survival. They saw it as a gift from the gods and celebrated its annual flooding. Each aspect of their mythology reflects their environment and values, creating a rich tapestry of stories and beliefs. Is there a particular deity or story you'd like to know even more about? Let's talk about the story of Isis and Osiris. Osiris, the god of the afterlife, was murdered by his brother Set, who was jealous of his power. Isis, Osiris's wife, used the magical abilities to find and resurrect him. Together they had a son, Horus, who eventually avenged his father's death and took the throne. This story symbolizes themes of life, death, and rebirth, and it highlights the importance of family and justice in Egyptian culture. Anything else you'd like to know about? Horus, the son of Isis and Osiris, is a key figure in Egyptian mythology. He is often depicted as a falcon or a man with a falcon's head. His most famous myth involves his battle with Set, which symbolizes the struggle between order and chaos. Horus ultimately triumphed and became a symbol of kingship and protection. Pharaohs were considered his earthly embodiment. This myth also emphasizes the importance of rightful rule and justice in Egyptian culture. Would you like to know more about any other aspect? The story of Set, the god of chaos, storms, and disorder, is also fascinating. Set was often portrayed as a villain, especially in the story of Osiris's murder. However, he was also a complex figure, sometimes seen as a necessary force to combat chaos. In some myths, Set helped protect Ra, the sun god, from the serpent Apep, representing the eternal struggle between order and chaos. This duality makes Set a unique and intriguing character in Egyptian mythology. Would you like to explore more about him or another aspect? In addition to his role as a symbol of chaos, Set was also associated with deserts, storms, and foreign lands. Despite his often antagonistic portrayal, he had important roles in various myths, such as aiding Ra in his nightly journey through the underworld. In some regions of Egypt, Set was even worshipped as a protective deity. This duality shows how Egyptian mythology embraced complex and multifaceted characters. Is there anything else about ancient Egyptian mythology you'd like to know? The ancient Egyptians also had fascinating beliefs about the afterlife. They believed in a journey after death, where the soul would undergo various trials. The heart of the deceased was weighed against the feather of Ma'at, representing truth and justice. If the heart was lighter than the feather, the soul could enter the afterlife. Otherwise, it was devoured by the demon Amit. This belief system underscores the importance of living a virtuous life. The Book of the Dead was a guide with spells and instructions to help the deceased navigate this journey. Anything else you're curious about? Ancient Egyptians also placed great importance on burial practices. They believed that preserving the body through mummification was crucial for the soul's journey in the afterlife. Tombs were often filled with items the deceased might need, like food, jewelry, and even furniture. The famous pyramids were grand tombs for pharaohs, designed to ensure their safe passage and eternal life. These practices reflect their deep belief in an afterlife and the importance of maintaining one's identity and possessions in the next world. Is there any other topic you'd like to explore? Let's delve into the concept of the ka and ba, two aspects of the soul in ancient Egyptian belief. The ka represented the vital essence or life force, while the ba was more about personality and mobility after death. Together, they were essential for the soul's journey and existence in the afterlife. The ka needed offerings and sustenance, which is why food was placed in tombs. The ba was often depicted as a bird, symbolizing its ability to travel between the worlds of the living and the dead. This belief highlights the complexity of the ancient Egyptian understanding of the soul. Any other aspect you're interested in? The ancient Egyptians also believed in the concept of the field of reeds, a paradise where the righteous would live eternally in a perfect version of their earthly life. This idyllic afterlife was thought to be filled with abundant crops and happiness. To ensure a place there, individuals would often include Shabti dolls in their tombs, figurines meant to come to life and work for them in the afterlife. This belief in an ideal afterlife underscores their hope for eternal peace and contentment. Is there anything else you'd like to explore? The Egyptians also had a rich tradition of magical practices and amulets. They believed these items had protective powers and could ward off evil. Amulets were often placed within mummy wrappings to ensure safety in the afterlife. Spells and incantations were common, as seen in texts like the Book of the Dead. These magical practices were deeply integrated into daily life and religious rituals. This reflects the Egyptians' belief in the power of the unseen and the importance of maintaining balance and protection. Any other topics you're curious about? The ancient Egyptians' reverence for animals is another fascinating aspect. They believed certain animals were sacred and embodied the qualities of different gods. For example, cats were highly regarded and associated with the goddess Bastet. Crocodiles were linked to Sobek, a god of strength and power. These animals were often mummified and buried with great care. This practice underscores the deep connection between their spiritual beliefs and the natural world. Anything specific you'd like to dive into? Let's explore the significance of the Nile River. The Nile was the lifeblood of ancient Egypt, providing water, fertile land, and transportation. Its annual flooding ensured rich soil for agriculture, which was crucial for their civilization. The Egyptians revered the Nile as a gift from the gods, and it played a central role in their economy and daily life. Festivals like the Wepet Renpet celebrated the new year and the inundation. The river was also a vital route for trade and communication. The Nile's importance is reflected in many aspects of their culture and religion. Anything else you'd like to know? The Nile's influence extended to their mythology as well. The god Hapi was personified as the spirit of the Nile, representing fertility and abundance. They believed the Nile's annual flooding was a divine event, ensuring the land's prosperity. The river also inspired art, literature, and architecture, with temples and monuments often built along its banks. The Nile was seen as a source of life and a pathway to the afterlife, reflecting its central role in Egyptian culture. Anything else you'd like to learn about? The ancient Egyptians also developed advanced agricultural techniques to distribute them across their fields. This allowed them to grow crops like wheat, barley, and flax, which were essential to diet and economy. The predictable flooding cycle of the Nile enabled them to plan their agricultural activities with remarkable precision. This agricultural success was a cornerstone of their civilization's stability and prosperity. Is there anything else you'd like to know? The ancient Egyptians' agricultural calendar was closely tied to the Nile's cycles. They divided the year into 3 seasons: Akhet, flooding season; Peret, growing season; and Shemu, harvest season. During Akhet, the fields were flooded, making it a time for construction and maintenance work. Peret was the season for planting crops, while Shemu was the time for harvesting. This cyclical pattern ensured a stable food supply and allowed their civilization to flourish. It also influenced their festivals and religious observances, reflecting the deep connection between their daily lives and the natural world. Anything else you'd like to learn? The ancient Egyptians also developed sophisticated tools and techniques for farming. They used the shaduf, a hand-operated device for lifting water from the Nile, to irrigate fields. They also practiced crop rotation and used plows pulled by oxen to prepare the soil. Their knowledge of the seasons and agricultural cycles allowed them to maximize their harvests and sustain a growing population. This agricultural expertise was a cornerstone of their society, supporting the development of cities and a complex social structure. Anything else you're interested in? Ancient Egyptians' economy was largely based on agriculture, but they also engaged in trade with neighboring regions. They traded goods like grain, gold, papyrus, and linen with countries such as Nubia, Punt, and the Levant. This trade network helped them acquire valuable resources like incense, ebony, and exotic animals. The Nile facilitated this trade, providing a natural highway for transporting goods. This economic interconnectedness contributed to their cultural richness and influence. Anything else you'd like to know? The ancient Egyptians were also skilled in various crafts and industries. They produced beautiful jewelry, pottery, and textiles, showcasing their artistry and craftsmanship. They were known for their intricate goldsmithing and the creation of elaborate burial items. Additionally, they were experts in stoneworking, as evidenced by their monumental architecture like temples and statues. These industries not only supported their economy, but also played a significant role in their cultural expression. Anything else you're interested in? The ancient Egyptians were pioneers in medicine and healthcare. They practiced a combination of practical treatments and spiritual healing. They had knowledge of anatomy, performed surgeries, and used various medicinal herbs. Medical papyri like the Ebers papyrus document their extensive knowledge of treatments for various ailments. They also believed in the importance of cleanliness and had specialized doctors for different conditions. This advanced understanding of medicine contributed to their reputation for wisdom and learning. Anything else you'd like to explore? The ancient Egyptians were also known for their achievements in mathematics and astronomy. They developed a decimal system and had a good understanding of geometry, which they used to build their impressive structures. They also created a calendar based on the lunar and solar cycles, which helped them predict the annual flooding of the Nile. Their observations of the stars and celestial events were highly advanced for their time and influenced their religious beliefs and architecture. Anything else you'd like to dive into? Their understanding of astronomy also played a role in aligning their temples and pyramids with celestial bodies. The Great Pyramid of Giza, for example, is aligned with the cardinal points and may have connections to the stars in Orion's belt. This precision reflects their sophisticated knowledge and the importance of astronomy in their culture. Their advancements in these fields contributed to their ability to create a lasting legacy. Anything else you'd like to know? The ancient Egyptians also excelled in engineering and construction techniques. They built massive structures like the pyramids and temples using simple tools and sheer manpower. The construction of the pyramids, for instance, involved precise measurements and careful planning. They used ramps and levers to move massive stone blocks into place. Their architectural feats demonstrate an advanced understanding of physics and engineering. This expertise allowed them to create enduring monuments that have stood the test of time. Anything else you'd like to explore? The ancient Egyptians also made significant advances in art and writing. They developed a distinctive style of art that emphasized profile views and hierarchical proportions, with important figures often depicted as larger. They also invented hieroglyphics, a complex writing system using symbols and pictures. This script was used for religious texts, official inscriptions, and monumental architecture. Their art and writing played a crucial role in documenting their history and culture. Anything else you'd like to learn about? The ancient Egyptians also developed a rich literary tradition, producing works like The Tale of Sinuhe and The Story of the Shipwrecked Sailor. These stories, written on papyrus, reflect their values, beliefs, and daily life. They also created instructional texts, like the Instructions of Ptah Hotep, which offered wisdom on ethics and behavior. This literary heritage showcases their intellectual achievements and provides insights into their society. Anything else you're curious about? Their education system was quite structured, with scribes playing a crucial role. Scribes were highly respected and responsible for writing and record keeping. They underwent rigorous training in reading, writing, and mathematics. Schools, often attached to temples, provided education in various subjects. This emphasis on education contributed to their advancements in administration, science, and culture. Anything else you'd like to know? The ancient Egyptians also placed great importance on religion and rituals. Temples were not only places of worship, but also centers of economic and political activity. Priests performed daily rituals to honor the gods and maintain cosmic order. Festivals and ceremonies were common, involving the entire community. These religious practices were deeply integrated into their daily life and governance, reflecting their belief in the divine's influence on every aspect of existence. Anything else you're curious about? The Egyptians believed in the concept of Ma'at, which represented truth, balance, and order. This principle was central to their worldview and influenced their laws, ethics, and governance. The pharaoh, as the earthly embodiment of Ma'at, was responsible for maintaining harmony in the kingdom. This belief extended to their view of the universe, where maintaining balance was crucial for prosperity and stability. This emphasis on balance and order is reflected throughout their culture, from their art to their architecture. Anything else you'd like to know? Their burial practices also reflected their belief in Ma'at. The process of mummification and the elaborate tombs were designed to ensure that the deceased could achieve balance and harmony in the afterlife. The weighing of the heart ceremony, where the heart was weighed against the feather of Ma'at, symbolized the importance of living a just and balanced life. This ceremony determined whether the soul would enter the afterlife or face annihilation. This focus on balance and justice is a recurring theme in their culture. Anything else you'd like to learn? The Egyptians also developed a complex system of deities, each representing different aspects of life and nature. They had gods for nearly everything, from the sun and sky to the underworld and fertility. This pantheon allowed them to explain natural phenomena and human experiences. Rituals and offerings to these gods were a fundamental part of daily life, ensuring their favor and protection. This deep spiritual connection influenced their art, architecture, and governance. Any other aspect you're curious about? The ancient Egyptians' deep connection to their environment and the divine shaped every aspect of their civilization. From their innovative agricultural practices to their monumental architecture, they left a lasting legacy that continues to inspire. If you're ever feeling overwhelmed by life's complexities, remember the Egyptians' focus on balance, order, and harmony. Take a moment to find your own equilibrium. Thanks for exploring with me, and feel free to reach out anytime you want to learn more.
So everyone, this is my today conversation with ChatGPT. Thank you so much for